Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today we have two very important topics and central questions. Question number one is, what is the evidence I am talking about in the title? As the title says, there's some amazing new evidence. It's very freaking interesting, guys. And point number two of the title has to do with the regards of settlement. Is a settlement ever gonna happen? Now, once more, this settlement thing has to be split up in two different parts, which we'll talk about all in this video though. So if you are excited, guys, make sure you press the like button on the video, and I'll give you guys the rundown of everything, and I'll try to leave the timestamps down below, and maybe I'll end the video off with a little bit of talk about the price, as there's a couple of interesting things happening, and I am once more setting up a trade for myself. Alright, so first of all, guys, John Deaton just shared this over on his Twitter. Pure gold evidence here by, once more, I guess it's actually Leonidas this time who shared it, but he is tagging Charles Gasparino because, well, he's been heavily involved. We all know him from Fox, and he's been sharing a lot of really interesting insights as well, but most importantly, he's making the insights which the community have found a long time ago more available for the the bigger parts, right, for the Fox News and whatnot. Now, the SEC has alleged Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson were reckless in selling XRP because it was so obvious that XRP was a security all the way back in 2013. Yet, in 2018, Gary Gensler himself says, and I quote, "Even for Ripple, there needs to be clarity." And this is a very important piece of information, and Leonidas is getting a lot of praise for finding this. It's a very, very big breakthrough, guys. And let me show you guys the video first, and then you guys can all understand why this is so critical for the Ripple v SEC case. And I see a lot of you guys are saying, oh, Brad Garlinghouse should sue. Well, take a look at what Brad Garlinghouse did after we watched this little quick clip of about 1 minute and 53 seconds, right? No copyright intended. It's fair use, whatever. Let's hear it.
Two classes of problems. The people who issued the tokens, are they criminals? What happens to them? And then the people who are holding the tokens, were they scammed, and how do they get redress?
I think regulators around the globe will sort it through, but as you saw in the first of these last summer, the DAO, the SEC chose to write, I think it would be called an order, but they didn't actually then have a civil money penalty. They didn't charge. They just wrote an order and tried to change behavior. I think there is a reasonable case to be made that if you can come into compliance, if the Securities and Exchange Commission gives some number of months, and I don't know what that is right up a period of time, but some number of months or a year or whatever to come into compliance, then they'll look forward. The challenge is...
So straight to the bat here, what he is referring to is basically this idea of, if there's a project out there, we look at it for a certain amount of time, and if it's, for example, been 2 years and they're now properly decentralized, then we don't look at the past of what did they do wrong, but we look at the future of, are they going to do something wrong in the future? If not, boom, we're good, thumbs up basically, and we get excited from here on forward, if you guys get the idea. Now, the criticism mostly comes in the fact that right now he's talking about DAO. And that's actually something which I talked about last live stream, which I can still recommend all of you guys to check out. That was a good live stream, and there's a lot of really important parts discussed in there, which you guys might want to, kind of get yourself into. I'm seeing also a lot of people say, not necessarily today, that, oh, there's so much good news, but the price doesn't move. I definitely think, if that's your opinion, that this is not the crypto for you. Because even though the price doesn't move, a lot is happening in the background, and we're fighting for the fundamentals of crypto. If price is literally all you can think about, I personally think Dogecoin or Shiba Inu or SafeMoon are better coins for you, because I'm seeing that quite often. But these people, I don't think will make it very far in the crypto space. My own personal thoughts, I think it's not your thing. However, let's move on a little bit with what his thoughts are.
Is Compliance is about disclosure. That's hard to do, but it's doable. Compliance is about the manner of sale. You can't change the manner of sale from 2 years ago, but maybe you can change the manner of sale going forward. Compliance is about beneficial ownership. That's a tricky one. Compliance is about anti-fraud and insider trading rules. So, but I think it's more like, let's look forward, and there's 1,000 plus horses running on the field that got out of the barn. We've got to kind of bring them into compliance. And even for Ripple and Ether, or maybe it's, EOS or NEO or something,
Now he's naming a lot of names here, right? And pay close attention. EOS is also a case that had an ICO before, who got sued for, I think, $4 billion worth of wrongdoings. Eventually had to pay a $24 million fine. Ethereum obviously also had an ICO, and the things he's referring to, they kind of are outside each other, right? But he right now in this specific regard is referring to the notice and the fact that we can look forward instead of always look backwards at what they did. This, in my own opinion, points out that Gary Gensler, as it currently stands, might still actually believe that XRP is doing something wrong, and that kind of shows something. He personally most likely thinks, the way I get it right now, that we can't really look at the future for XRP or Ripple because they've always done something wrong and they're still doing something wrong.
But for the big market cap ones, there needs to be clarity in the market. And if the clarity in the market is that they're not securities, they might still be commodities. They might still need to comply with all those laws and so forth. But I think it's a period of time. But if you do an issuance now.
Point being, he has now admitted officially that there still needs to be extra clarity on Ripple because it isn't there. He actually explains a couple of different crypto too, but Ripple, he literally gives as an example, the clarity isn't there just quite yet. He says that. And so Leonidas says this must have been part of Ripple's compliance back in July 2019, raising the bar, reporting on volume and sales of XRP. However, let's take a look. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, actually looked at this video and also said, I love Twitter. Why? Well, because he noticed that this video is actually a key contradiction in the SEC themselves. And I find this so ridiculously funny. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You just can't. This is a huge piece of information, and even though stuff like this usually doesn't pump the price up like crazy all of a sudden, it is a critical piece of information, like I've just told you. Critical that the current chairman, even though it's been years ago, the current chairman thinks that the clarity in 2018 for cryptos wasn't really there, specifically Ripple, name dropped. And so you might want to say, oh, but this was before the William Hillman speech, because this is April, not June. So, I mean, this is 2018, and Gary Gensler right now is the chairman of the SEC. If he thought that in 2018 there wasn't that much clarity, then at least there wasn't much clarity in 2013. And I think we can rest our case here in this regard, because this is so huge. I like it so much. I'm enjoying myself, right? I am, we're talking about it in the live stream. I'm enjoying myself a lot with this, guys. This is amazing stuff. Generally speaking, or genuinely speaking, really, really excited about this piece of information. Oh, that is going to be good. I wonder what Brad Garlinghouse is also going to kind of... I wonder if they're going to file something, or if this is only going to be used in summary judgment or something, but that is so amazing. Mr. Maloney, if you want more info on the Songbird drop, check out my previous live stream. At the end, I put the timestamps in. I went over everything you need to know about Songbird for right now, so check that out. All right. So let's move over into kind of part 2 of this video. Let me quickly take a picture so I can timestamp it later for you guys. I'm trying to make sure I have timestamps every single time from right now forward. So let's quickly take a little bit of a look, right? This part right... I guess it doesn't really matter where we start. I guess we can just start at the... No, let's do the Gary Gensler thing first. No, you know what? You guys are most likely waiting for it. Let's do the settlement stuff first. Breaking. Ripple's legal team tells Fox Business that they have no plans to settle with the SEC over the lawsuit on XRP. confident they can show Gary Gensler in pursuing the case is picking winners and losers in crypto business to the detriment of innovation story developing. So, a couple of things here to show you. One, Maverick asked, so Jeremy, would love to see your take on this. Does this mean the case gets dragged out until next year or worse? This definitely doesn't feel like good news for XRP holders during this bull run. And I think a lot of people just don't know enough about lawsuits and they ask these types of questions, which is logical and good, but a little bit of research or a little bit of logical thinking could draw you to a different conclusion. As I said before, guys, people are really focused on the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. And I think you should really broaden your horizon a little bit, as we'll talk about a little bit later when we cover the price. However, if you don't just look at your nose, but you look at the entire picture, you'll notice this is actually something really bullish. Because if you think about it, if Ripple's legal team now said, yeah, we're looking to settle pretty sure, would be very freaking beta, would be very weak, right? Think about it, guys. It would be very, very weak. Ripple stating, we're not settling because we know we're gonna win. That lets the media know Ripple knows what they're doing and they're not going to back the frick down. Now, for some of you wondering, this is actually not the first time that Ripple has taken this stance. They've actually had this stance a couple of months ago as well. Actually, the day before they were sued, because Ripple, or specifically the CEO of Brad Garlinghouse, sent a letter to his Ripple employees in which he stated that him and Chris Larsen had the chance to actually settle before. Quote, Chris and I had the option to settle separately. We could do that and it would all be behind us. So most likely there were already some terms which they could agree on to have everything behind them. Not happening. That's how confident Chris and I are that we are right. We will aggressively fight and prove our case. Through this case, we will get clear rules of the road for the industry here in the US. We are not only on the right side of the law, but we'll also be on the right side of history. And I can definitely co-sign that and vouch for that. That is an amazing sentence, but think about it. Ripple is in a very strong position. Ripple has been finding out so many key details about the SEC. And the fun fact is, guys, think about it from this perspective. The entire crypto Twitter is on Ripple's side, looking up what the SEC's hypocrisy is, where it is being shown, basically. What does the SEC have? Kind of nothing if you think about it. What do they really have? What can they really do now? What can they find on Twitter and stuff like that? Really not that much. It's mostly Ripple's side that is really getting a lot of benefit from this. But again, as I quoted, nothing new with the fact that that they're not selling. JV says, Dusty, they're not selling, bro. They're not fighting this hard and exposing the SEC to settle and let them off the hook. Ripple's trying to set precedents for the entire space, and that comes with a summary judgment or trial win. Brad and Chris may settle, but not Ripple. Exactly. Jameson says here, I had my fingers crossed. BitBoy was correct, but this makes more sense, and maybe it's the only way Congress will pay attention. And again, some people say, you're absolutely right. There's two things, though, guys. One, it's not completely true. Let me tell you guys. Ripple can still settle with the SEC behind closed doors. They can. Because in theory, it all could end tomorrow for three main reasons. One, the SEC gives up. They say, Ripple, you've won. We don't think you can win. We don't think we can win. But that would most likely be based upon the fact that the SEC, for example, doesn't want to give over some communications, for example. It could be that the SEC now gave over their privileged documents to the judge. It could be that they would rather not have that stuff be public and basically admit defeat. That chance, however, is extremely, extremely small. So point number two is some new rules being made by the SEC, which basically means the SEC is not admitting that they were wrong, but they're making new rules so that Ripple from this point forward is fine. And because of the things that Gary Gensler just stated, they can basically look at cryptos from a future perspective. If the rules are made for Ripple right now, then if we look at a future perspective, well, they might not ever be doing anything wrong anymore again. And from that perspective, guys, it could be very, very, very nice. NB says, what you say publicly during a lawsuit doesn't necessarily mean that's what is going on behind the scenes. And exactly that's my point right now. Guys, whatever they're saying here doesn't mean they're not working on it in the background. It could still be that they're going to settle, and maybe BitBoy is right, maybe as an insider. Maybe this is all tactic for Ripple to show the public that they're not willing to settle, but they're only willing to go for a win. And then the SEC is thinking, oh no, Ripple thinks they're going to win for sure. We can't keep up. Okay, you know what? Can you really not come to a settlement, please, Daddy? You know, something along those lines. It's always possible. You don't really know. By the way, guys, I'm noticing we're having about 400 viewers, which is amazing. But make sure you press that like button if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos. And once more, we have quite a lot of these people in the chat box, which I'll show, but it is very annoying, right? Let me tell you guys why. Truth Hurts here, as an example, says all these wins for XRP and nothing has happened with the price. They're going to stretch this stuff out. I don't get how people have this opinion. Then again, I'm of course open to everybody explaining exactly what they think themselves. And as I've said before, in my chat box here, you can always address whatever is on your mind in that sense. It's always open. However, I will tell you that I find this a very ignorant view for these reasons. One, just because the price doesn't move doesn't mean huge things aren't happening. Second of all, I mean, nothing's happened to the price. So what? Is that a bad thing? No, not necessarily. I would rather have good things happen and a huge surge all of a sudden after a big win than the price gradually going up piece by piece by piece now and never getting this huge spike in price, making us all, that rich or something that people would rather want, right? You want things to go crazy once they go crazy. You don't want things to just kind of go up piece by piece. And ultimately, if we get, for example, a ruling right now, sometimes things that take time are just a lot better than things that get quickly. I don't know the proper saying for it in English, but very often it's the same with money. If you get money slowly, it works out itself rather nicely most of the time, if you earn it yourself and slowly. If you win the lottery, very often you lose it again. Same thing for XRP, but it's kind of double-sided. So if we get a slow, gradual way up, you're more likely to not spend your money in a crazy manner. It's just the truth, and there's more likelihood that the price stays that way. If we get a huge pump, however, there's going to be more excitement, more media coverage, more everything, and there's a bigger statement being put down, so both of them have their advantages. Yet, point being, it doesn't matter if the price has been stable for a little while. If you guys, again, people thinking about it that way, don't see this as a good thing because you can accumulate more, I'm just going to assume that either you guys are new to crypto or just hopium-based. As to my answer is always going to be, better go look for a different crypto, because if you're that focused on the short-term things, that's not the vision of crypto. At least my personal vision is crypto is going to change a lot of people's lives. Ripple specifically is changing the entire realm of cross-border payments. If you were to ask me, that's worth the wait. But people always have differing opinions on it. Then again, to come back on the point, a settlement can still happen. However, Ripple will never let us know up front. At least that's what sounds logical to me. And he says, dude, I'm a 3%, I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm not hating, I'm aware. All I said is I will stretch this shit out. Oh, truthers, by the way, there's no hatred towards you, my friend. Of course. As I've said before, I will always respect what you guys said. I'll just give my opinion on the matter and see what you guys think about that. If I'm saying something stupid, you can always let me know as well. No hatred, just trying to figure some stuff out. If you meant that you don't mind or anything like that, hey, all good, my friend. Just trying to point some things out because I see it quite often in the chat box that people get angry, for example, that the price is still low, even though so much news is going on. Yeah, but news is not a one-to-one with the price, just quite yet. And I see Kiwi say, I want to enjoy the wealth while I'm able. Yeah, so everybody does, I think. So, I mean, yeah. I guess I can put it from this baseline. Everybody would rather be rich yesterday than tomorrow, right? Most people, I think 99% of the people say yes. But is that feasible? Is that the best thing? It depends. I mean, obviously, the answer to that is, okay, you should have started earlier. Okay, if you started crypto earlier, you would have been richer not right now. Okay, so, we can always point to this thing like, oh, but I want to be rich as soon as possible. Yes, but how's that going to help if you guys get my picture? Like, so that's everybody's mind right now. It's like, oh, if only I bought crypto sooner. Oh, if only I took a loan to buy more crypto, all that stuff. Let's do the best thing we can do from now forward, and let's not get impatient and waste our chances. Because ultimately, people who are impatient, generally speaking, will amount to a lot less. Let's put it that way. Huang says, Dusty, call my name. is 14. Please, never put your amount of XP that you have in the chat box. It is never a smart thing to do. All right, to move on though to our next small subject, right here. Quote, it is a safe bet that if you ask Gary Gensler how to register XRP as a stock, it'll earn you a raid on your offices and millions of dollars in legal fees. But hey, everything is awfully clear, right, Gary? From Seek and Alpha. It's a very interesting article right here. I checked it out, and it's very, very interesting. Gary Gensler's crypto mess. It's time for Congress to teach the SEC what clarity means. And it's also what a couple of you guys in the chat box were saying. We need proper clarity from a higher perspective or from the SEC, but we just need the proper clarity. And a small little settlement, they might, the SEC might try to shrug it off like, okay, Ripple, you've kind of done, you're good, okay, but the rest of crypto, no, it's still unclear. No, I think Ripple wants to also show the world that the SEC is a little bit strange with what they're doing. That's also what John Dean, Digital Asset Investor, and everybody's sharing right now. Things are amiss. Okay, so the SEC insists that there is clarity on the rules it applies to blockchain and cryptocurrency industry, but will only communicate them through lawsuits, which of course is very peculiar. Nobody really understands why they're doing it that way. Some in Congress are finally starting to lose patience with the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, who used to teach courses on crypto but seems clueless now. We need American companies leading the fintech revolution, not having to fight our own government. And all these things are very much true, guys. Right now, it's a fight within the United States, and it's just strange the way it's going, right? The U.S. says, come talk to us, but when you try to talk to them, it's not good. And for the Coinbase case specifically, they tried talking to the SEC, and look what happened to them. Now they got a freaking lawsuit on their hands because they tried to ask for permission on something. Now, if previous SEC chairman Jay Clayton was the most conflicted chairman in history, then Biden's pick, Gary Gensler, is the most clueless. Ever since he was confirmed, he's been saying that the rules on what makes a digital asset a security are clear, and that he's dedicated to protecting investors. But ask any retail digital asset investor, and I just moved something. Okay, we're good. Ask any retail digital asset investor, and you'll know that nothing is clear, and none of them feel protected by Gensler. Let's be honest here, guys. Let's actually see here. Do any of you guys think that Gary Gensler is doing a good job in terms of protecting investors? Let me put a poll on here real quick. The SEC is properly protecting investors. Yes, no. Let's see what you guys think about this one. If a lot of you guys say yes, well, then then maybe something is wrong with my thought process. Let me know in the chat box real quick. The poll is made. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so a couple of people still think yes, Gary Gensler is doing a good job protecting investors. My own personal thoughts on that one is he's doing the exact, like Bobby says, he's doing the exact opposite. He's not making it clear for investors what they can buy. He's not making it clear for investors. Rover, you're trying to distract me again, huh? Welcome Crypto Rover to the chat. He's making my life a lot more difficult than it needs to be. As always, which is kind of funny. I just got a letter in the mail as well. I just see now. Uh-oh. What is this? Have I gotten some more fines again? Okay, I got a letter. Just quickly read through the letter, but it's fine. It's not a really nice letter. But let that be known. All right. Yeah, Dutch Rider knows what type of letter it was. I was scared I had another fine, but we're good. It's not really good because they actually denied one of my letters. I sent in the Netherlands here, the freaking, I guess the IRS, but then Dutch style. I sent them a letter for something, and they denied my request, which is not nice. I'm gonna have to. Oh, damn. Why? Why do you do that? I don't know. All right, let's move on though. So yeah, I personally, my own personal thoughts is he's doing the exact opposite. He's not protecting investors. He's basically hurting them by not making the rules clear, and everybody's kind of confused, right, about the entire debacle. It's just not obvious what you can and cannot do. It's not obvious what constitutes a security and what not. It's not obvious what ICO is good and what ICO is bad. And it's not obvious if a project can turn from good to bad. I mean, if we look at Gary Gensler's earlier words, then yes, a project can turn from bad to good. However, where the line is unclear, and the fact that he said this in 2018 about, Ripple not having enough clarity is also, again, a question. Because when exactly did Gary Gensler change his mind to say, oh no, crypto is really clear? Was that in 2019, 2020, 2021? When was that? Because apparently in 2018, he still thought the situation wasn't really clear because, in his own words, again, Ripple deserved some more clarity. It's very, very peculiar. Very, very peculiar. At least to me it is, man. I've been reading through this. I've been reading through a lot of these pages, man. And it's, again, funny because a lot of these guys are not even holding XRP. They're not really bullish on the matter. And I firmly believe that a lot of this stuff, this writing, these posts, are coming as well since Charles Gasparino came into the play. And I've told it to you guys before. A couple of days ago now, I've been shouting, this is the start. That's what I shouted a couple of days ago. Many people called out for clickbait and laughed. No, I wasn't lying. It wasn't a joke. This is the start of mainstream media coverage for XRP and the Ripple v. SEC case. And I'm standing by that point still. I firmly still believe, guys, that is what kind of sparked up right now. And from here on forward, it's only going to keep getting bigger. That does not mean it's going to actually get better necessarily. But sometimes it gets worse before it gets a lot better. And that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. And yes, I'm excited about everything. Yes, I am. And yes, I'm buying more XRP every single time because I don't really think there's anything negative to say about it. People are negative Nancy's. People think it takes too long. I don't care. I'll be buying more coins till I drop. And if you don't, completely fine, but don't come crying soon when things all of a sudden have settled and nobody can ever buy any more coins. Think about it, guys. Right now, the XRP price is freaking $1. $1 and a little bit. Why am I stacking it up? Because I believe in the project and the idea. And I know for myself, like I've witnessed with Cardano, that buying it at 2-3 cents for Cardano is the same thing as buying it for XRP, for example, at let's say 50 cents or even now at $1 still. It's easy to buy once it's low, but it's hard to buy once you've been there for a little while and the price goes up so ridiculously much. Trust me when I say that if XRP is at $15, for example, in half a year, that everybody's going to have a really difficult time to buy. And Truther says, I bought 3 times this week. I'm with you. You took my comment out of context earlier. I'm very sorry for that, Truth. I'm just saying that what you write down, a lot of people write. They say, oh, there's good news, but the price doesn't move. Clickbait. And I keep telling them, good news and price up are not a one-to-one type of thing. Yet, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. And guys, as I said before, I've been doing this YouTube thing with crypto for 4.5, almost 5 years already. And you know what I've noticed is that people start asking questions like, oh, should I buy? Oh, should I buy? When the price is already up this much. I've been talking about Cardano for so many years. The price was around 3 cents for so long. Was there interest in ADA? Yes. But all of a sudden the price is $3 and oh, people are the biggest fans. Oh, I want to buy ADA at $2.56, but I wish I bought earlier. Oh. You had the chance, didn't you? And now some people don't have that excuse because they came in late to crypto. Well, all I can say about that one is use it to your best advantage. I still keep saying we're early, but even if we aren't, then look at the future gains for crypto. If you don't think we're going to gain in the future, even though it's been a long time since XP hit all-time highs, it's a return. Might take time, yes, but it's a return. And again, if you think that crypto or specifically XRP is not giving you enough of a return on your money, go look for something else. It's not a quick thing. It's not meant to be that way. Nobody actually wants that because, once more, things that come so quickly without a proper base, they fall off rather quickly and it becomes nothing all of a sudden. We don't want to pump and dump like Shiba. We don't want to pump and dump like Doge. No, we want sustainable, legit price appreciation because of the utility and because of the progress, which again could be, for example, being a properly regulated crypto. What we don't want, as I've said before now, guys, what we don't absolutely not want is for it to become a meme pump and dump coin, which is also why an Elon Musk statement would be nice, but it would ultimately be potentially very detrimental. Giddis says, Dusty, when is XP too expensive for you personally? I find XP at $1.10 very expensive and $1.40, but my personal limit, I guess, is, I'm going to say $12. Above that, I would never buy a single piece of XRP anymore, I think. Just going to be honest with you. I don't think I would ever buy a single piece of XRP above $12. That's debatable because it depends on when and how it goes. If we see a pump to $12 and it just kind of keeps pumping up piece by piece, you know, with kind of $10, for example, as a basis, it's different. If XRP, however, gradually keeps moving upwards and with a couple of spikes, but generally moving upwards, that might be where I set the end. Because I already have a good amount of XRP, which you guys know by now. I've been with it for a little while. And as I've said before, I got the chance to buy so much at 10 cents. So much at 10 cents, so much below that, so much at half a cent. If I all of a sudden start buying at $12, then what's wrong with me, right? I would rather than go for kind of a new coin to try to take another wave like that because I have my chance with XRP then. So the same kind of thing goes for Bitcoin. I don't really buy that much Bitcoin anymore. I bought Bitcoin in 2000 and whatever, all those years before. Now that Bitcoin is at 50,000 though, not really buying that much. I'm looking for a different coin. Same thing for Ethereum. I bought so much under $100. I bought so much at $100. Now that it's about 3,000, yeah, I'm kind of taking away. Same thing for ADA. I bought so much at 2-3 cents. Now it's at $2-3. I'm kind of laying away. Same thing for VeChain. Same thing for Solana. Same thing for Ava. I moved to the next thing to kind of, you know, grab some new coins and go on. So that's usually how I go about these things. I'll hold it till the bitter end, but I don't really buy that much once I've gotten like 100 times return, sometimes like 400. It depends a little bit because crypto is crazy like that. I become a little bit quiet with the pumping. And what I just do is kind of look at my first buy for XRP. Let's say, for example, it's half a cent. Then I look at, okay, well, what type of gains have I gotten right now? And what type of gains would I have once it's at $10 or $12 in that regard? Yeah, is that still feasible? And then I go kind of, you know, make that way out for myself. And then sometimes I come to the conclusion, no, I'm not going to buy it. But that's all for the future. That's not important for right now. Let's talk a little bit about the price, right? I've told you guys where I'm trading XRP. I personally trade XRP over on Bybit. A couple of thoughts. I'm just going to share them with you. You don't have to do anything with this. It can be very stupid, but these are my thoughts. Some people appreciate them. Some people hate me for it, but let me explain what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking once more, guys, the entire altcoin market cap is slowly building itself upwards again. Again, if you look at it from a daily perspective, weekly perspective, whatever, this is the altcoin market cap. It just looks as if it's trending higher and higher and higher. And we got a big break here because of the El Salvador news and the buy Bitcoin little situation where whales were cashing out. But generally speaking, there wasn't really that much volume. It really wasn't that spectacular or anything like that. We are right now building up without the volume that we saw back then. We are slowly and gradually building. But again, the course is upwards. This is not even a bullish pennant, I don't think, because it's just a continuation straight up, right? A bullish pennant would usually look like this with, again, a kind of a pennant like that forming. You might consider that to be one of them. However, I would personally say is just actually a trend line that you can kind of draw a little bit more like, I don't know, like this. It's not even bullish pennant material just quite yet because we didn't actually have, we're looking too good. It's not as if we've actually stalled. We just had one little downfall before now, just coming back upwards, depending, however, on what we're going to do over the next about day or so. But that's again for the altcoin cap. On the XRP regard, I've been telling you guys for a little while, we're finding some interest here at the 0.618 Fibonacci level at about $1.07. That's what we've been hovering around for a little while right now on. If we look a little bit more specifically, you can see, as I've said before with Bybit as a help, we've now bounced from about $1.05, $1.06. I did not draw this in today. That's an area which I guess we could buy. This entire area between about $1.02 to $1.4, $5, in my own opinion, was a good area to get in still. Everything along that area is, I guess, fine. Because we had two different scenarios, right? We buy in when the dip happens, or we buy in when the breakout towards the upside happens. However, if you look at the trend, and that's best done with XRP on a weekly perspective, if you look at it from a weekly perspective, guys, we saw the head and shoulder pattern, which Peter Schiff put in. But our own personal thought process is, if you look at XRP from a weekly perspective, you really can't tell me that this is actually a negative thing. You can say, oh, okay, we've got a good little correction in here, and there's actually a downward sloping, there's a quote-unquote trend line that's downward sloping, but that does not mean that things are over from here on forward, because if you look at it again from this July point, or just kind of look at it from the perspective of where we've been at the start of, at the middle of 2020. Let me zoom this out for you guys on a logarithmic scale. You can see how bullish things are looking, right? Because from that perspective, we just keep making higher lows and higher highs, higher lows and higher highs, with some small exceptions here. For example, one lower high, the February time in comparison to November. but eventually that picks itself back up. So you can kind of see this as a downtrend. I don't personally see it that way depending on where we make our new low. Right now we've made, again, a higher high, a higher low, a intermediary high. But for example, guys, if the next couple of weeks are going to be looking like this, I accidentally moved a little bit. If the next weeks are looking like this with green candles, all of a sudden people don't consider this a high anymore, and this right there is going to be the high. Hopefully it's a little bit logical for people to follow. I hope so. I'm noticing the stream is lagging a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what is causing the lag. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process for people who say, oh, it's looking negative or it's looking bad. I personally really disagree. I think things are looking extremely solid right now. Extremely solid. You can actually say from a weekly perspective as well, we had a golden cross a little while ago in March of 2021 already. But even things from that point forward have just been looking good. It's actually been looking all good if you zoom out a little bit. Now, is it following Bitcoin? Of course it is. Right? Bitcoin had a couple of retests and right now it's building back up. Are we going to get back into the channel with Bitcoin at about $50,000? Maybe. But we shall see that very shortly here. That's all not too relevant either because right now, there's two things which you should focus on. For the XRP front, to be honest with you, it is mostly when settlement and how do we get it? What are the proper rules for the SEC and whatnot? Why am I saying that? Well, because ultimately, that's going to be the biggest factor for the XRP price. Just going to be honest with you. That's the very much biggest factor. If you're a trader, though, you want short-term fluctuations, want to make some quick money, look at the most important levels and look at what patterns you see. However, I focus mostly on the most important levels. So for example, $1.05 was a very critical support level. We've drawn all these things in prior. Well, you can see we got to that area. We saw two candles already close a little bit, or at least we touched below it, but we closed above it. Once the third candle popped up here with a green candle after, kind of testing that twice already, and again for a third time and then closing positive, you can already see this is kind of a reversal there at that point. So again, we got a rejection at that support area, come back up. That does not mean that we're gonna, just skyrocket and zoom from here because we could, theoretically speaking, just kind of follow along with basically this line as well. That could definitely be so. However, it's a bullish small part in the picture. And again, this is all for the short term. It's very short term. It's following Bitcoin. Bitcoin bounced up a little bit a little while ago, all the way back here actually. XRP bounced back up from that point as forward as well. And things are kind of bullish depending on how you see it. I personally think though that XRP is kind of setting a new base for itself. And as long as we don't breach our previous lows at about $1.02, we're still looking good, still looking bullish. And only at that point will I start changing my mind. Right now, again, we could see again a little bit of resistance at that area for Bitcoin. We shall see as well. We shall see. All things are exciting. People think it's not. People think it's negative. No. I'm extremely excited for the prices right now. I'm extremely excited for the process. I'll be stacking up my crypto till the day I go, as you guys have heard from me a ton of times by now. And again, all you need to do is zoom out. David says, following Bitcoin down, always by a higher percentage, up by way less. Very untrue. Altcoins usually follow Bitcoin with extra volatility. So if Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up a little bit more. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down a little bit more. And you're saying that when Bitcoin goes down, it goes down more. And when it goes up, it goes down, it goes up less. Yeah, that's definitely not true. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Things are not bullish. That's also what he says. I personally think they are bullish, but that's, again, everybody's own opinion. Just to compare it to Bitcoin, always, then I should do this myself. Yeah, I mean, comparing it to Bitcoin is always kind of a good baseline to kind of see. Then again, looking at it just from let's actually see it from the same perspective. So we have the 8th right there. This is both in hourly. Let's look at the last move for XRP and Bitcoin then and see how it kind of compares in. So for XRP, we are zoomed out a lot more. Let's put it up a little bit like this. Okay, let's check it out. So Bitcoin and XRP both made their local lows at around the 13th of September, the 13th of September, and have actually been building ever since. XRP and Bitcoin both made their high on around the same time. Let's actually see the gains then from that perspective too. So Bitcoin from the lowest point went up about 11 or 12%. XRP from the lowest point went up about, in this specific case here, about 10.5%, so about equal. Very often this is not the case though, right? XRP bounced back about 6.5% down. Bitcoin right now as we currently stand went about 3% down. So yes, over the short term, Bitcoin would have been a better hold. Let's see the altcoin season, which I often show you guys. Let's see how alts are doing relatively at all. Right now we're in the middle. So basically, if you are holding altcoins or you're holding Bitcoin, it's kind of in the middle. You could have been better off holding Bitcoin, but you could have also been better off holding altcoins for about half of them in the entire list. Right? So there's not really any determination as to whether or not you could better hold altcoins or Bitcoin for the short term, medium term, and long term even. Because all of them, Bitcoin is kind of doing regularly. Kind of in the middle of things. Some coins you're lucky with, by the way. For example, a Phantom could have done you really good over the last month. And even for the longer term, sometimes you can be a lot more lucky by buying specific things, yes, than Bitcoin. But let's quickly see where XRP is supposed to be in this list. So, see, XRP and Bitcoin over the last year are almost at the same percentage. Almost on the exact same thing. Then again, if you, for example, were holding XLM, TRX, Litecoin, Huobi Token, SNX, XMR, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, Link, Comp, XDC, Leo, Neo, EOS, and Crow, even Bitcoin SV. All of those, you would have actually been off worse. That's again why Bitcoin right now is in the middle on the performance chart. For the 30 days, I guess XRP is not doing too well over just the last month in comparison to some things like Ethereum. Then again, XLM is also doing bad. Ethereum Classic, Doge are all doing bad. In the last 90 days, XRP is where? It's about here most likely. Let's see where XP is over the last 90 days. Can we actually see it even? Here we go. XRP is doing a little bit better than Bitcoin over the last 90 days. So yeah, it's a 50-50. All right, XRP, Bitcoin, it's kind of moving in the same trend as always. None of them are necessarily better or worse. All right. There's something wrong with your upload. Had to refresh already like 8 times at least. I don't know, guys. I don't know why the stream sometimes lags like crazy. So I'm not sure exactly why you have to refresh. I think that's also why there's a lot less people in the stream than usual, because it's kind of bugging out a little bit. I'm noticing a lot of times that it just cuts out. Not sure exactly why that was. Lock says, Dusty, I think you should live stream a movie next time. We'll bring the popcorn, need a break because Gensler making me just mad. That's funny. Gitta says, but why are you watching the charts if you think XP will go to $12? Just buy as you get spare buck at around these levels. That's a very big misconception, Gittis. I think a lot of people have that same idea. Dusty, why do you care about the price if you think that the price is going to go crazy? Well, because you want to make the most out of that craziness, right? So let's say, for example, you have $1,000 right now, right? And you're able to buy, for example, 900 XRP. That's nice. But what if you could turn that 900 XRP into, for example, 2,000 XRP before the price goes up, as an example? Or even when the price has already gotten up, there's always ways to increase your crypto. So one of the ways in which I do it is by trading. And again, I'm not saying that you should do it too, because it's very risky. It's not for everybody. However, that's personally what I do. And that's also why I watch the price and why I'm always thinking of better entries or whatnot. Because on Bybit, as an example, which is the exchange that I personally use, you have a inverse perpetual function, which basically allows you to trade XRP and make the profit in XRP. So if you think, okay, the price is going up and you, for example, buy yourself into a long position, a long position contract, that's, again, you make money when the price goes up. The money you make is not in dollars or anything like that. No, it's in XRP. You can do the same thing for Bitcoin, Ether, and all of those, which is definitely something very, very cool and very nice. And yeah, I guess even the dollar one, though, it's kind of the same way where it's like, well, if you can make money along the way, you can buy more coins, you can buy more crypto for the longer term. That's very nice, right? So that's why the price short term matters. Longer term, I'm solid though. I mean, that's why I hold my crypto. That's why I don't sell my stash. But I do have a trade stash which I utilize to get myself more crypto, basically, or to get myself more dollars or anything like that. But yeah, as I've said before in the videos as well, I always have a long position open on Bybit because I don't care. I've told you guys before, I think that this long on its own can make a freaking ton of money by just keeping it open. Because if XRP, for example, pumps to $3, you know the amount of money that this long is going to make? And I don't think it will be liquidated anyway because I don't think the price is going to go to 71 cents. So, yeah. This is, by the way, again, over on Bybit. There's a very big competition coming up very shortly for everybody who made an account through me over on Bybit. You guys hate it when I say that, so I'm trying to always keep it at a minimum. However, the benefits are definitely there. So if you're not in the US, make sure you check out Bybit. And by the way, guys, if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos and live streams and whatnot, make sure that you press the like button. It helps the channel out a ton. I appreciate you guys a ton, as you all know by now. I like making these videos, and I like you guys just stopping by and saying hi. So if you enjoy them too, just stop by more often and we can chill together, chat together. It's always fun. I always appreciate you guys just coming in and saying hi. For the record, we had about 410 viewers right now, about 200 likes at the end of this. Once more, guys, if you watch it right now, make sure you press that button to get it up to 250. It's very easy to get there. If you watch it right now, make sure you press the like button. Then we're instantly at 250. Ooh. Well, no, okay, we didn't hit it. But, however, we did come close to it. And for the subscriber count, we are right now at the exact number of 131,249. So we needed one more for 250, but we got very close. All right, so that's still very, very cool. All right, guys, thank you all for stopping by, saying hi, and coming along. I'll see you guys again in another live stream or video later today. I think it's going to be videos from today or for the rest of the day. We shall see what you'll see. It depends on what type of news I find. For right now, I have nothing planned yet, so we'll see. And Twitter update on the Songbird airdrop. I already made a video on the Songbird airdrop, so you can check that one out. See you guys again in another live stream later today, guys.